Hey everybody, it's another week, and here we are back at SR Synth Weekly. As usual, I am your host, the Redneck, and here we are. We got another great week. We've made it to episode 36. We're going to jump right in. Got some great new artists today, and some great new music. Next up, we have our good friends, Two Libras. The song they sent me today is called Reaction. This is a good dark wave, as they call it a dark wave cyberpunk. It kind of mixes that. Their description of it comes up as people's reaction and overreaction on social media. We have all had that. How easily things can be escalated due to miscommunication and mixed intention. It's about breaking free from the cycle. We also hope we can bring awareness to the listener in the end. They still have the power to choose how they react to such situations and maybe just break free from social media altogether. I like their setup on a movie scale. It's kind of hard for me to do it. But I kind of went with another direction on it. I went with the main characters being held. You know, it's either in an institution, you know, there's evil in his head, and we see the transgressions of all the thoughts and that brought them to the place. You know, they're fighting the demons within, and it's plaguing their mind. And we just see the whole, cycle of, you know, of the fight and everything internally of the person, you know, fighting the demon in his head. You know, we see inside of his head of the, you know, everything that's going on and trying to break free of it. That's one part it gave me. Next one, it was also it's on the same note though. Excuse me. The main has been trapped like in a prison. You know, the evil character, or you know, the bad guy has you know, trapped him in a prison or incarcerated him, and while the evil's winning, we see the hero going through the emotions of the pain and the anger of, you know, being incarcerated and having to fight through everything. As the song progresses, we see the main character planning the escape, and then about mid-song we see you know, they start escaping, and in the slow part of the you know, the song, if you read when you get to the slow part, you'll see that I get the visualization of the main character is broken out, you know, the big hole in the wall, and he steps out, standing free, and back to taking off the evil. You know, he's just standing there, you know, iconically as they do, and we get that whole feeling of, you know, he's ready to go back into the fight and take care of the evil. So both of them work for me. It kind of works on what they were trying to display, but I use a more movie style. But really awesome song, so definitely check it out. It's like I said, today it's going to be Two Libras, and the song is called Reaction. So I kind of like that whole break free deal. I mean, I use what they said, and it just kind of works. I like the breaking free out of a prison more, or breaking through from your own mind. So, like I said, check out the rest of their stuff. They post a lot on their YouTube and their Facebook pages. They do a blog too, which is really awesome. So definitely check them out. They've got some really good content on there. Next up today we have Law, and they are a synthwave group out of Midlands, UK. People who live in the UK, they'll know that area. I don't. They're a synthwave group, and the song they sent me today is called Automatic. This is your basic synthwave, good, what I call a cop synthwave drive series. It's one of those where the cop is main. You see the cop driving through the streets, and he's looking around with the corruption, the lawlessness, everything's around him. That's, a lot of crime all around him. And then you see him and he's watching the streets and doing his job, to protect the innocent, and just to protect the scene, protect his area, protect his beat, whatever. Then we see him searching, for someone and running an investigation, but at the same time, the bad guy who is about mid-song of this song, about mid-song we see the bad guy rear his head, and instead of the cop investigating, the bad guy's actually stalking him, where it's like one of those where the stalker's actually after the cop while he's investigating, and he's giving him clues, kind of like the alphabet killer, kind of something like that. I also got the same beat as it's a loner bounty hunter. He's showing him flying through space and searching for his subject or his bounty, and then comes to find out that the bounty is his lover, or or it's someone he knows, and then finds out that they're being hunted because they were unjustly accused and they want to be taken out of the picture. So now they're helping that his bounty run away from everybody. And I use cyborgs in this, but he's running from other cyborgs and evil to save both their lives, because now they're both wanted and they're both running. So it kind of gives me that. I use that. I thought of the movie, but I can't think of it anymore. So as usual, my memory goes bye-bye. But if anybody knows the movie, let me know. But anyway, both of those work out for this song, and it's a really good synth song. So check it out. Again, this is Law, and the song is called Automatic. I don't know, it doesn't give you that kind of like stalkery-ishy, you know, your normal cop and, you know, usual scene like that. Just gives you that good synthwave sound. So, like I said, definitely check it out. Check out the rest of the music. And as I always say, you know, make sure you follow them and follow everybody on their social media and all their pages that I put in the description, because, you know, they need your love, and that's what we're here for. Next up, we have our good friend Cat Temper. And as always, he's a synthwave electronic, or his, as he calls it, meow wave, which works for me, out of Boston. And the song he sent me today is Purranoid. He calls this is out of his single. It's Something Whiskered This Way Comes. Come on, you can't go wrong with that. It's funny. This song kind of gives me, though, on a it kind of gives me that tale of heist. And what I mean by that is it's the main team is they're planning and executing a huge heist against a corporation. The corporation is bad, you know, then they've got to find stuff against them, but they got to get into the corporation and steal a whole bunch of, you know, items, junk and whatever, to take them down. This is like the main planning stage. We see them first working on the plans, and and after they work on the strategy and everything, and then all of a sudden you see them, you know, put the plan in motion as they get the heist, and they, you know, you see each person doing their part as the song progresses. And then finally they get the document or item, you know, to put the bad guys away. Also on that same note, it kind of gives me that, you know, on a whole completely different side, it gives me the areas being terrorized by like a group of cyber thugs. I like cyber stuff, you know. I could just say, you know, like thugs, but I like sci-fi stuff. So if everything I have is going to say cyber. Anyway, it's they're attacked by a bunch of thugs, and we see the main group show up as they introduce, you know, it's kind of like the introduction of who they are, and, you know, that they're the, you know, the warriors for the group and for the area. And they take out the thugs and they move on to the next area while we get an exposition of who they are, what they are, you know. I'll use, just because everybody can, you know, picture this, kind of like a Power Rangers when they first show up. I know it's kind of like cheesy, but we can look at Power Rangers and everybody knows what I'm talking about. So it kind of gives me that feel. So check it out. I kind of like the heist better, but like I always say, you know, everybody's opinion is different. Like I always say, let me know what you think in the comments. But check it out today. Check out the rest of the stuff. But today is Cat Temper, and the song is called Purranoid. I don't know. I just kind of like all the cat temper stuff because I'm kind of like partial to cats. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll see I have a lot of cats. But the song itself is really awesome. So check it out. Like I always say, check out the rest of this stuff because his stuff is really good. Next up today, we have LordNikon, my beautiful friend out of San Francisco, and great black synth, dark synth, you know, with that dark electronic. Really good dark, you know, just that dark sound that you want for horror, you know. And that's kind of where I went. This comes from his album Cult, and it's spelled KVLT. So if you're looking for it online and it doesn't say Cult, you know, there you go. This one just gives me a, you know, just it's a pure horror theme. You know, it's one of those where the main with a group of minions, and you know they're working. You see the whole thing to bring the bad guy back to life. They bring the evil back from the dead to help them take out, you know, the towns and the good people, so to speak. We see the whole ritual, and you know we see the evil coming back to life. After we see that, we see the evil gathering strength and terrorizing the people in the shadows, just causing full fear and destruction of the area. And the song just kind of gives us that background feel, emotion of the terror that's being happened. Also kind of gives me a, kind of like that evil is stalking the main characters. You know, all that, you know, we've seen those in all these horror movies where the evil is actually, you know, in charge. They're actually in control. And the main characters are running for their lives, and we see the evil just taking out the smaller, I want to use like smaller part people. They're taking this, you know, the weaker group and killing them off one by one. And while the main characters that are Dang and the rest are searching for a way to stop the evil, but the evil's still hunting them, and he's in kind of no hurry. He just wants to make sure that, you know, they know that he's in control and will destroy them at any point. But at the same time, it's making their lives hell while they're searching for a way to stop him. Both of them work. It could actually work on the same movie, but it just gives me that. It's just a good horror feel to it. So, like I said, all of his stuff is really good, and it's always given me that good, you know, just dark vibe that's there. So definitely check it out. So here it is. As always, check it out and follow the rest of the stuff. It's LordNikon, and the song today is called Dreadlord. like I said, it just gives me that big, just horror vibe. So, anything could work in there just as long as the bad guy is the main character in this. So all the music's like that. So definitely check it out. As always, check out their social media, follow all their pages, and make sure you buy all their stuff. Next up today, we have American Geometry. Sorry, the song they sent me today is called Crossing, and they call themselves a chill synth, and they're based out of Seattle, Washington. So they describe this as a chill synth track designed to evoke images of flying over the United States in an airplane. It gives me a lot more than that. I know they just say it's just a chill song, but it kind of gives me a little bit more than that. It kind of gives me. I went with the flying, but on a different scale. I went with like a main team they haven't been kidnapped, but they've been recruited by like a force, and we see them, flying through space in new ships and stuff like fighter ships. They're testing it and getting the understanding of the understanding of the controls, because they've never been on a spaceship or any kind of thing like that, and they've never flown. But you see them just learning how to use it and just enjoying themselves. It's like the greatest thing they've ever had happen before the main story hits of why they're there and why they have to fight. But it just gives them that whole, they're learning how their new lives are been given, and they're enjoying every second of it. So it gives me that feel, and I just went with that. Also kind of gives me on a secondary setup, and the main in this group are shown, they're having a fun when they've never been able to have, it's one of those once in a lifetime fun things that they never get to have to. It shows them traveling, having a small bit of fun after, they've battled the evil, they've saved the town, and we see them just having fun. Finally, they're finally able to let loose and just have a good time. We kind of see that, but with some kind of like the background sound in the song, it kind of gives you that, yes, they're having fun, but in the shadows, the evil is waiting. Kind of gives you that like setup for a sequel kind of in the movie. You got the good guys having a great time towards the end of the movie, but in the background you see these eyes, or you see an evil rearing up, and it's just watching them. Kind of gives me that feel. So both of them work, but I kind of like the new group, testing the spaceships more. But both of them work. So it's a really good song. Check it out. And as always, check out their other stuff. This is, for today, it's going to be American Geometry, and the song is called Crossing. Last up today, we have a group out of Malta, and it's a Synthwave group, and I'm going to screw up the name. So I'm hoping they pronounce it as Hex Dysphoria. If you look down at the description, it's a H3X. So I'm hoping they're going for Hex. The song they sent me today is called Refract, and they describe it as a upbeat, nostalgia sounds from the 80s. This kind of actually gives me a little bit more than just the 80s. If you remember, kind of the first thing that popped in my head, I know they're not sounding like it completely, but when you first hear it, it kind of gives me that Enigma feel. And if you remember the song, Sadness, kind of gives me that feel. If you were to just hear it at the first beginning, that just popped in my head. But it kind of gives me a show title sequence. This is that show, a TV show is a title sequence where the main character is, the usual showing from the first time, boot to head or shoot ahead or whatever. Then we see him get into a vehicle after he sees, something happening in the distance, and he takes off to the location and saves the day. While we see, as they save the day, we see other parts of and other adventures happening, like kind of cut screens to other adventures. And, just kind of gives that whole, whole title sequence feel. Also kind of gives me, on a secondary note, it's kind of like it gives me the main has returned. He's disappeared, like something happened. He was in a time bubble, vortex, whatever. But he's disappeared, and all of a sudden they return, and the team, and he's got this whole new, a whole new persona, whole new look, everything. It's just he's found new technology, and as the team is fighting, they show up, and helps, and with the new abilities and new weaponry, they save the day, and the team is grateful, but they're all, at the same time, they're kind of in awe, and they're happy, sad. I'm going to say happy, sad. They're that they've returned to help them thing. Then they just go back, and all of a sudden you see them. They beat the day, and then go on and solve the problem to defeat the other issues at hand. Both of them work. I kind of like the title show a little better, but both work on that. It could actually be the same thing as always. But really good song. Definitely check it out. And like I said, I hope I sang it right. So check this out. It's Hex Dysphoria, and the song is called Refract. that's it for this week. I hope everybody enjoyed the music and enjoyed the new artists that I put in. As always, like I always say, make sure you follow them on their social medias, their pages, whatever. Go buy their music, stream their music, whatever it is. Share it, share the music to your friends, family, share it to everybody you know. Also, if you like this page, as always, I always say like and subscribe. Also, share it to your friends, your families, and share it to your dog, your cat. Tell your goldfish, let them subscribe too. No, but I hope everybody has a great week. Like I said, I hope everybody enjoys everything, and I'll see everybody next week. Have a great one. It's Pumpkin Spice Day, so everybody have a pumpkin spice, I guess. So have a great one, and I'll see everybody next week. Bye.